Welcome back, Blues, and yes, happy smiley face today. The seeds of a recovery. I can't believe I'm saying that because we're still world champions and we're coming off the back of 4 Premier League wins on the trot. Yeah, I think a lot of the younger Blues seem to forget that. And okay, like I said in yesterday's video, I get it, I understand it, you know. If you're constantly watching a winning side and then, you know, things, you know, the wheels come off a little bit, then you're going to start grumbling and moaning. But yeah, the seeds of recovery last night. We looked a little bit back to, you know, more like the Manchester City that we know and love. Jack Grealish through the middle. Again, who knew? Yeah, he played there for Villa, well, you know, most of his career, so it's not a surprise. He did look a little bit out of sorts, if I'm being honest, because he's not played in that position for City. But I've just been reading 1 or 2 reports. Kevin De Bruyne praising him really well. And he was saying about his, you know, holding the ball capacity. And that's what we've been missing. I think I said in yesterday's video, that's definitely what we've been missing. Somebody who can hold the ball, control tempo. And of course, we get to see Jack Grealish playing next to Doku, which we've not really seen before. And Jeremy Doku's come out this morning and said, you know, they even in that short, you know, space of time that they played together, he thought that they were forming a really good understanding. Of course, that's what it's all about, isn't it? You know, if we sign new players in January, they're not going to hit the ground running. They're not going to be, you know, a complete fix straight away. They're going to have to, you know, it might take them 6 months. It might take them a season to settle in. I mean, Rodri, when he first came, I thought, so we've signed this lad to replace Fernandinho? This is never going to work. And of course, he's a Ballon d'Or winner now, so what do I know? But it was very nice, and like I say, we were still giving the ball away an awful lot. The tempo for me was still quite slow, and I know this is not. I'm not complaining. We beat Forest 3-0 and we were worthy winners. But I would just like to see us move the ball a little bit quicker. And for the 3 goals, you know, I was sat watching the game with my 2 grandsons and my son-in-law, and I'm screaming at the TV, you know, when Ake is tip-tapping the ball around. I'm like, move the ball a bit quicker. And when we did move the ball quicker, we scored 3 goals. So, I mean, you know, Pep is he's the master tactician. Who am I to tell him what to do? But a nice 3-0 win. Doku looking very lively. He's only 21. I mean, what kind of player is he going to be by the time he's 23, 24? You know, 3 or 4 years' time, if he keeps progressing and gets his final ball right, my word. And of course, you know, he's got this weapon where he goes, doesn't he? You know, his body is, I think De Bruyne said last night in the post-match interview, you know, he's electric. And he is, you know, he just goes and he loses his marker, hits it with his right foot, it's in the back of the net. And to be fair, we've seen that a few times from him. Not enough, but he's only 21, you know, so we've got players in the team like Doku, like Savio. I mean, Phil Foden's getting a lot of stick at the moment, but, you know, let's face it, Phil Foden is a class act. And, you know, Haaland up front, okay, he didn't score last night, but when I was watching him play, and I think it was one of the goals that we scored, he basically has got 2, in fact, I think my son-in-law corrected me, he said he had 3 defenders on him there. And what that does is it pulls players away from marking in other spaces. So he's occupying 3 players. Okay, he didn't score. And that's what we know Haaland for, don't we? We know that he scores goals. He scores some absolutely, well, some of the goals that Haaland scores are otherworldly, aren't they? You know, where he stretches his leg out another 2 foot and nicks it in the net. And while we're talking about that, one thing that I noticed last night, and it only happened once, one of the things I noticed about City over the years was the desire to win the ball back. So, you know, when we lose the ball or when the opposition are bringing the ball out from the back and they're pressing, I've noticed that, particularly when Guardiola first came, there was 2 players on him. He had this 5-second rule, didn't he, you know, win the ball back within 5 seconds. But one of the things I noticed that we were very, very good at was you saw it an awful lot. So the opposition player would be stood up with the ball and the City player, I don't know, maybe he'd lost the ball or something like that, turnover of play, but the City player would be like either falling or on the ground. And once again, it seemed like they stretched the leg out an extra, 6 inches or whatever, and just touched the ball away from them straight to a blue shirt. And that happened when we were really good, that happened so much. It was a real kind of talent of ours. We've not been doing that recently. It happened once last night. Bernardo Silva did it. He was falling to the ground, but he stretched around and got the ball with his right foot and just touched it onto a blue shirt. And if we can get that moving again, that will to win the ball, those 50-50 balls that recently we've not been winning, and that's one of the reasons why we've not been so great, because if you don't win the 50-50s, then you're putting your back four and your goalkeeper under pressure. But anyway, like I say, just a little thing that I picked up in game. Jack Grealish through the middle. This is not a criticism. I thought he looked a little bit lost at times because he was kind of thinking, what's going on? I'm meant to be on that wing, And he's going to have to learn that position. Now, Pep Guardiola's come out this morning and he said, or after the game, and he said, Jack Grealish had a great game through the middle. If I decide to play him there again, bit worrying for me. I think Jack Grealish's new position should be centre mid and let him get used to it. He's a player who doesn't lose the ball. When he gets it, he doesn't lose the ball. And also, how many fouls does he draw? Get him running into the penalty area. If he runs into the penalty area, he will get his ankles tapped. You'll see that big grin come on his face. I've won another foul, and it's a penalty this time. Get him running forward. It's something that we need to look out. But let's face it, last night it was the seeds of a comeback, 3-0 against Forest. We have got Palace on Saturday. That won't be an easy game. And then we've got Juventus next week in the Champions League away from home. Again, that won't be easy. But a much more solid performance last night. Ortega in goal. Come on. Let's give that lad a round of applause. One of the saves that he made was absolutely world class. I think it would have gone 1-1 at that stage if he hadn't made that save. Absolutely world class. And that's what you need. The basics for a goalkeeper. Okay, we all love Edison. We all love the way he can put a ball on the sixpence, down the wing or down through the middle. We know that. But he doesn't do it, as much as I think he should do. And, of course, Ortega, he plays our system well, but he's also a great shot stopper. Brilliant between those two white sticks. Absolutely brilliant. And last night, he showed it again. We kept a clean sheet, which is something we've not been doing. So the back four played very well. And if you watch the game carefully, watch Diaz. He's kind of stood there. He pulls his shorts up, or at least one leg, and his legs are splayed out, and he's pointing. And you can see by his face, he's really kind of concentrating and looking round and pointing. Do this, do that, That's what we need in defence. We haven't had that for a while now. Going back to the days of Vincent Kompany, great defender, great at organising his defence. But, we're getting a few players back now. Ruben Diaz, let's just fingers crossed for all of them, we don't pick up any more injuries. And if we can keep him fit and keep, that's what we need at the back. We want plenty of this, plenty of talking. My two grandsons, they're twins, and they play in a football team, under-10s football team. And from day one when they joined the team, he was saying to them, I want to see plenty of this on the pitch. You need to be talking to one another. Shouting for the ball. I'm here. I'm in space. And just speaking to one another. There's a man, you've got a man on your shoulder, a man behind you. You need to be talking on the pitch. You need to have people who shout and bawl and scream. And, it's not pretty to watch, but you need it. You need that in a team. You need somebody who's going to grab the team by the scruff of the neck and say, right, come on, lads. Come on. Sort yourselves out. That's Ruben Diaz for me. And okay, De Bruyne had the captain's armband last night, but I would certainly make Ruben Dias captain, because a captain has to be, it's not just, for me, it's not just seniority. It's not just a popular player. It's for me, it's none of that. It's somebody who can be the manager on the pitch. It's somebody who knows the game inside out, knows the positioning, knows where everybody needs to be. And if things are not working and people are not in the right position, just grabbing hold of them by the scruff of the neck, saying, right, you should have been there. Just do it now. Do it. And you need that. You need a really strong voice, a strong captain on the pitch. And finally, post-match, we get an indication of what is actually up with De Bruyne. And, Dr. Keith to the rescue. So, in his post-match interview, De Bruyne actually told us, I think he actually told us in the press conference the other day, but he didn't know the English words for it. And I think he gave it in his own language. Which I missed and I couldn't. But anyway, Sports Hernia. He's come out with it now. And there we go. Sports Hernia, it's athletic pubalgia and a soft tissue injury in the lower abdomen or groin that causes pain. And the symptoms include pain, pressure and a tearing sensation in the lower abdomen and groin. Pain can occur during or after exertion and can last for days or weeks. And it actually sounds like he's still suffering with it. Not as bad as it was. Let's hope that, it says there treatment. Treatment can be surgical or non-surgical. Non-surgical treatment include rest, which he's had plenty of, ice compression, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medicines, and physical therapy. Well, let's hope he gets all of those. He has had quite a lot of rest. And maybe now, all the people who've been, De Bruyne's on the bench. If he's on the bench, he should be playing. Why is he on the bench if he can't play? Maybe now it will shut those people up. It's obviously a complex injury that needs to be managed very carefully. So De Bruyne, post-match interview, and he gave us the information. A sports hernia. And now we're all that little bit wiser. So great performances across the pitch last night. Not brilliant or amazing, just great. But, we are seeing a little bit of signs of recovery. But, going back to De Bruyne again, it just goes to show that many of our players are probably playing through the pain barrier and playing with injuries, which, apart from the mental side of the game, it's a massive thing, isn't it? If you're mentally not prepared and you're playing with a bit of a knock, then you're not going to be on top form. And one player in the team you might be able to carry, but I think we've had and maybe still got quite a few. So come on, Blues, stop knocking the team, get behind them. Even if we lose at Palace on Saturday, we're a step forward, aren't we? We've got 3 points on the board now. Another 3 points on the board. Unfortunately, Arsenal beat United, and so we stay in fourth position, which is a little bit of a shame. But Liverpool, that Liverpool, they drop points. And while we're at it, so the Tottenham game, I'm digressing here now, but I just feel like I need to say this. So the Tottenham game at the Etihad, got absolutely battered 4-0. And I turned around to my son-in-law and said, you know what? Spurs, there's a saying in football, isn't there? They're very Spursy. And that's exactly what they did. I turned around to him and said, you know what? The next game that they play, they'll be abysmal. And the next game they played Fulham at home, 1-1. So where was this? The problem is, one of the big issues that we have, two of the big issues that we have in the Premier League are Liverpool and Tottenham. There are bogey teams. When we play them, it's their little cup finals. So particularly at Anfield, Liverpool, all of the crowd's up for it. You can see that they've got a spring in the step. It's that little cup finalist. It's Manchester City who are, they're world champions. They've won the Premier League 4 times on the trot. And we need to lift out. And they do. They lift the game. Go away to Newcastle. It's 3-3. Conceded 3 goals. They didn't concede any at Anfield against us. And of course, and the other thing I need to say as well, and I probably need to make a video about this because it doesn't get spoken about very often, but I saw before the game, before the Liverpool game, should say, I saw a social media post, and it was a very nicely made, colourful banner, and it basically said that the coach welcome for City on the day that the team coach arrives, bring along your fireworks, any pyro stuff, anything to welcome that coach in. Now, we know what that means from Liverpool fans, because actually a few seasons ago they actually wrecked City's coach with, let's face it, a lot of young, Gabriel Jesus then was with us, a young player. Phil Foden was a lot younger. We had a lot of young players on that coach, and they actually wrecked that coach. They wrecked it. There's an image of Guardiola getting off the coach and turning to all of the police who were stood there saying, "Thanks for that, guys." They wrecked the coach. It was a write-off. If there's any Liverpool fans watching this, I'm not saying all Liverpool fans, but if Liverpool fans think that that's great sportsmanship, then, well, we know a lot of Liverpool fans don't have great sportsmanship. Because, if I was sat with a Liverpool fan now and I said to them, "Can you just explain that to me? What's that all about?" And the only honest answer would be, well, it's to put the opposition team off. Even before they've kicked a ball, we're trying to put the willies up them, if you will. We're trying to, to destabilise the team because they're all frightened to death. That can't be right. That cannot be right. As an older blue, it's not good sportsmanship, that is it. I mean, Tottenham again, we talk about Tottenham, again, another one of our bogey teams. But it's there, Son has his best game of the season when he plays us. But you can see it, it's the same thing again. It's a little cup final for them. They get themselves all motivated and hyped up, and they generally beat us, or get a decent result out of us. Little cup finals. At the end of the season, though, when it matters, we still win the Premier League. I don't think we're going to do it this season. That wasn't a rant to say we're going to win the Premier League. I don't think we'll do it this season, because last night, although we were getting somewhere close back to a City team that is mentally prepared and physically prepared for a game, we're getting close to it, but I don't think we're there yet. I still think we need 1 or 2 new signings, maybe 3 or 4 new signings that can come in, bed in. Maybe in 12 months' time, we will have a team that's actually looking absolutely awesome and pushing for trophies and titles again. So, a summary of this episode. Yeah, Jack Grealish through the middle. If we play him there, make that his position now. Play Jack Grealish through the middle. He'll learn it more and more. His ball control is brilliant. He very rarely loses the ball. And he will learn to dictate the tempo of a game. Jeremy Doku on the left is only going to improve. Bernardo had a much better game last night, but we've got Savio to come in there, who we've not seen the best of yet, and what we have seen has been really, really good. I'm very excited by that young kid, and I think, as a team, we looked very compact. A bit stuttery at times, gave the ball away too much for my liking. It's very unlike a Guardiola side to be giving the ball away, but there were quite a few stray passes. Even De Bruyne gave the ball away at one stage, and that could have been a goal for the opposition. But, he's playing through the pain barrier for us, and he's playing with a smile on his face, which is great to see. And talking about smiles on faces, well, I've got a big smile on my face. I hope all you Blues have a big smile on your face, because, it's going to be a very interesting season. And let's just sit back and let's just let things happen. And hopefully this team will start coming good again. But remember, we're still world champions, and we're coming off the back of 4 Premier League wins. So when we say we're making a comeback, actually it's just a little blip. And who knows, we might win the Premier League again. What do you think? Comment down below. I'll see you next time.